We are live. It is showtime. Give people a few seconds to pile in and see if we can't get this horse out the barn. Exciting, exciting, exciting. They're going to have Trump sign some executive orders. What did this thing do? Hold on. That should that. I'm fixing it. There we go. There we go. That looks a lot better. Hey, Julianne. So, one of the Trump signed some executive orders this afternoon. He's going to sign some more here in a few minutes. One of the orders that he signed, he changed the name of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. And he gave some very, very good logic. He said, for decades and decades, the tallest mountain in the Americas was Mount McKinley in Alaska. He said a few years ago, they changed it from Mount McKinley to Mount Denali to um, honor the Inuit people. He said, if they can change that, he said, why can't we change the Gulf of Mexico, which we surround a majority of it? And I thought, well, that's a good thing. So he signed an executive order to do that already. He's got a whole stack of executive orders to sign here in a few minutes. They're having an indoor parade. I've never seen such a thing. They're having marching bands march past him, and it's all indoors. You ever heard of such a crazy thing? So who all have we got in here? We got Julianne. Yeah, I love watching the marching bands. Some of them guys are really, really good. So who we got here and where y'all from? It shows me that there's 5 people watching. Make sure everybody hits the like button on your way in. Let me adjust this. There. Cool, Julianne. I was on the sound team. I got to set up the audio booth before the games. Sound club, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, I moved you guys so that I can keep an eye on the TV because when you start signing executive orders, I want to let you guys watch. Make sure everybody hits the like button, okay? And here we'll do a banner. Yep, he did. He declared the border a national emergency. He declared, what else? That there are only two sexes, which will drive the liberals crazy. He designated the cartels as a terrorist organization so the military can go after them. Craig Gutfeld is hilarious. You know, Joe Biden was right there when Trump was slamming Biden's administration, and Biden was sitting there with a smile on, looking around. And so Greg Gutfeld said, "This wasn't in your face. This was in your face and up your ass. Take it." I had to laugh. And Biden sat there smiling or sleeping. Let's see, what is this guy saying?
Good evening, everybody. I am. I was appointed by President Trump to be the special envoy for peace in the Middle East.
Yeah. Oh,
And I'd like to describe to you some of the things we're doing and how it informs on President Trump's policies. First of all,
I
it is an
think this
honor
is
to
Steve
stand before
Wickoff.
you today
Wickoff.
as I reflect on the enormity of the role that President Trump has tasked me with. I am constantly reminded of the privilege it is to serve under the leadership of
Can
my
y'all hear
beloved
that?
President Donald J. Trump. His presidency has provided a clear, bold vision for the Middle East, and it is this vision that guides every step I take in the mission. President Trump's leadership has redefined what is possible in the pursuit of progress and stability in the Middle East. His decisive, pragmatic approach ensures that even the most entrenched
Hey,
conflicts
who
are met
watches the
with
Benny
direct,
Show
effective,
on
and
YouTube?
innovative strategies. His policies have already delivered remarkable successes, such as yesterday's release of hostages in Gaza.
Wow, that's a huge deal.
Thank you.
Wickoff
This
just
achievement
said that yesterday
demonstrates the
Trump
strength of President Trump's
prepared
leadership
to sign.
and the respect he commands on the global stage. It is
Uh,
yet another example of his
it's
ability
a, not
to deliver
yesterday. He said
results
he's
in the most
going to
complex
sign
and
an
challenging
executive order
situations. These trends,
releasing
of course,
posse
are a
comitatus.
testament to his
That's a
vision and
huge deal.
determination, have also brought historic progress to the region, transforming old rivalries into new alliances. These agreements are not merely symbolic. They represent a
Yeah,
practical
I
roadmap
remember that, and I don't
for
know who he was.
cooperation and mutual respect across nations. My role, as President Trump has tasked me, is straightforward yet profoundly challenging: to turn his vision into actionable outcomes. He sets the agenda, he lays the framework, and he inspires people like me into bold action. My responsibility is to implement his vision, engaging with leaders from across the region
So,
on
Julianne, how many people do you think we'll have on the stream tonight?
And let me tell you, having Donald Trump as a boss makes this task not only possible, but far more effective. President Trump's reputation as a leader who delivers results resonates far beyond Washington. Leaders in the Middle East know he means what he says. His ability to cut through bureaucratic gridlock and focus on tangible results is the game changer. It allows him to
Yeah, I
deliver
hope so too.
delicate negotiations
Julianne, do you watch the
with
Benny Show?
confidence that the full weight of the United States is behind me. The principles President Trump has laid out for our approach to the Middle East and foreign policy in general are fourfold, and they are clear. One, respect the
Well,
sovereignty.
Benny's
Every
wife
nation
had her
has
baby
the
this
right to
morning.
determine its own
Benny's a
destiny,
young guy.
free from the interference of
He's
external
like
powers.
mid-30s, I
Two,
think. He used to
economic
work
prosperity
uh,
is a bridge to
for
stability.
one of the senators
Together,
on
with
Capitol
patience
Hill,
and investment, we can
and
build
he
a
said he had
foundation for
enough,
cooperation that transcends historical grievances. Three,
but
courageous
he's
diplomacy.
conservative like us. His
Real
name is Benny
progress
Johnson.
requires difficult conversations and bold
The,
decisions.
his show on YouTube is called The Benny Show.
Trust is built and maintained. And finally, four,
He does some really cool
diversity and
um,
adaptability. The United
animatronics.
States requires
Yeah, his
resilience
wife had her baby this
from our
morning,
partners. We are done carrying the
and
financial burden of nations that are unwilling.
he wasn't in office. He was an aide. He worked for one of the Republican senators.
We are done
So I
carrying
listened to
the
him
financial burden
because
of
he knows
nations
his
that are
stuff.
unwilling to fund their own
But I
progress.
don't.
The days of blank checks are over.
Right. Oh, cool.
Partnerships under
Witkoff
President
just
Trump's
said,
leadership
for
have been
Ukraine, the days of
tangible,
blank
and the
checks are
contributions
over.
reflect shared commitments to our goals. In my work, I've seen firsthand how these principles resonate. They provide a foundation that transcends politics and speaks to the shared humanity of all people in a region. Leaders across the Middle East recognize that this Trump administration is serious about results, not symbolic gestures, but real, meaningful progress
Can
that
y'all hear
changes
this?
lives. It's, thank you. It's not always easy. There are moments of deep challenge and frustration. Decades of mistrust cannot be undone overnight. Yet I take comfort in knowing that
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
hope
in this
so.
alone. President Trump's clarity of vision ensures that I never have to question what success looks like. His leadership provides the confidence and direction necessary to navigate these complexities. As we move forward, my commitment is to continue the work of advancing President Trump's vision for the Middle East, whether through expanding the Abraham Peace Accords, fostering economic development, or facilitating dialogue between long-standing adversaries. My focus remains on actionable results. Let me
You
close
know who
by
I think
saying
is going to
this:
be their
a
next
stable and prosperous Middle
politician
East
in the Trump
is not
family?
an unattainable dream. It is a, it is a goal within our reach, made possible by strong leadership and unwavering commitment. Under President Trump's guidance, we are proving that the impossible can become reality. Thank you. But I have one more thing to say. We have some special people for me to introduce you to tonight. President Trump has been talking to them as well.
Yeah, Laura's going to run for senator of North Carolina, but I mean generational.
For the last year and a
I
half.
think it's going to be Kai
There are many of them here today. Several
because
families
Friday,
lost children.
Kai said something real
And they're
interesting.
here because their
Kai
mother
said,
offered to retrieve their body.
"Hey, I have to get ready because on Monday my life changes forever and I want to be ready and be able to help Grandpa."
American family here whose loved one is scheduled to come out in 14 days. And they're going to be meeting the president tonight. So let's give them all some love and a big hand. Come on up.
So the families there at the yellow ribbon.
Yeah, I thought that was something that I didn't expect because Kai just turned 18. I didn't, expect her to say, my life is going to change forever on Monday and I got to be ready to help my grandpa. She plays better golf than him. I thought that was really sweet. Yeah, but Elon lost communication with his daughter. Elon's daughter, over the summer, last summer, told him that she wanted a sex change, that she wanted to be a boy. And Elon told her the truth. He said, honey, you can never be a boy. Your DNA will never change. You can get all the surgeries you want, but down deep, scientifically, you will always be a girl. He told her the truth. Yeah, he told her the truth. And she said, I hate you. You're a creep. I never want to speak to you again. But he told her the truth. And I said, kudos to him for telling her the truth.
President Trump taking his time there with families. The greatest chanting. Bring them home. Wow.
And now I get to introduce my dear friend and the President of the United States, Donald J. Trump.
Here we go.
Here we go. Here we go. I'll switch the setting so you guys can watch.
Thank you very much, everybody. Appreciate it. Thank you. So now the work begins. We won, but now the work begins. We have to bring them home. And tonight, I'm going to be signing on the J6 hostages. Pardons. To get them
Boom. There you go.
Boom.
as soon as I'm able.
He's signing the pardons for the J6ers. Sixers.
President Trump's making some big news today on
He's
this
a friend of mine. He's been a very successful man. He's a great negotiator. He's a wonderful guy. People love him, and he's got a tremendous power of persuasion. And that's what we need. We don't need stiffs. We don't need stiffs. We got a lot of stiffs. We just had a whole load of them. And to the former hostages with us today, welcome. Welcome home. Some of the folks that are former hostages. Not a good situation. The three young ladies that came home yesterday, you saw that, were coming home every day. Now they're coming home. But they were hurt. They were hurt. They were hurt.
Yeah, I don't know how that will work because Biden gave the entire J6 committee a pardon. And I don't know if that carries over to civil suits.
Knocked off her hand. You look at it, it's a disgrace. We never stop praying for you, and we're so glad that you're reunited with your friends and families, and God bless you all. And some of them are just saying, no, my son is gone, but please just bring home his body. I see it. Many of you told me that. That your son is gone, but bring home his body. It should have never happened. 3 years, ridiculous. Should have never happened. Wouldn't have happened. I also want to express my tremendous gratitude to the hundreds of thousands of proud American patriots who came from all across the country to join us in this celebration. It's a celebration of a big win.
Yeah, the president can only pardon federal crimes.
Age of America. That's what it's going to do. We're going to bring it back fast. Let us also thank the incredible service members, National Guardsmen, Police Secret Service, and law enforcement personnel who are keeping us all safe. Even though they are great people. New York's finest. I grew up with New York's finest. And we got to give them their authority back. You won't have any crime. There'll be no crime. Give them little authority back. The whole way they run things in this country now, it's disgraceful. But it's going to change rapidly. We're going to make our city safe again, too. Even though we're indoors, we've had a magnificent inaugural parade. And let's give a big round of applause. It was great. To all of the incredible performers and hardworking men and women who made it possible. Those people, really talented, amazing people. I also want to thank my wonderful family for being here, especially my beautiful wife, our First Lady, Melania. I love our First Lady. And also, JD. How good is JD been? And his beautiful wife, Usha. How good is JD? JD has been great. He's another good negotiator, Steve. He's a great negotiator, too. We need negotiators.
Did you know that JD's wife, Usha, is a lawyer and that she tries cases in front of the Supreme Court?
She was the head of the Republican Party along with my friend.
And she's very good at it.
What a job. What a job. They worked so hard. They knew there'd be rigging, but they said we're going to make it too big to rig, and we did. We made it too big to rig. We won every swing state by a lot. We won the popular vote by millions and millions of
Yeah,
votes.
she is very smart.
And now we're going to go and drill, baby, drill, and do all the things that we wanted to do and bring your costs down, your prices down, and make our country safe. Well, thank you very much, Michael. Thank you very much. What a job you've done, Michael. I'm never moving you, you know. he was thinking about getting a
Okay.
nice job in the administration. I said, no, I'm leaving you right where you are. You've done a very good job. We're not moving you, Michael. I'm sorry. Anyway, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Appreciate it very much. Right here with us also in the arena, I'm about to sign some very important executive orders of our new administration.
Uh-oh. Here we go.
Hey, Don, will you stand up? Use Don as an overlap. How about Don? This guy.
You know, I like Don, but he's not the smartest tool in the drawer.
He gets our big crowd. He's a little on the rough side sometimes. That's what you want. He's done a fantastic job. He loves our country. Thanks, Don. Great job. He's done a great job. And Ivanka.
Ivanka is gorgeous.
And you know, Jared negotiated the Abraham Accords, which are the biggest deal made in the Middle East in many, many years. And it's really something.
Yeah.
Abraham.
Wow. Jared and Ivanka are not sitting together. And Tiffany's gorgeous. All of his daughters are gorgeous. There's Baron. Right. Baron. That's Baron.
He knew the youth code. You know, we won the youth code by 36 points. And he was saying, yeah, I'm going to go out and do this one and that one. And we did a lot of them. And he respects them all the other seven.
You know, Baron is the one that got Trump to save TikTok. Told him that if you want to reach the youth, you got to be on TikTok. She is gorgeous. She's only 18. Byron Donalds. He's thanking all the people that helped him. That's a great thing. Oh, I think it's going to be Kevin O'Leary. It's between Kevin O'Leary and Elon. And Kevin O'Leary has already put in a bid through his American AI company, whatever the heck it's called.
Executive actions of the previous administration, one of the worst administrations in history, maybe the worst. Anybody that would allow millions of people to board borders from jails, prisons, mental institutions, and state asylums, gang members to be taken off the streets of Venezuela and deposited in our country, and many countries, Venezuela. You know, crime in Venezuela is down 74%. Because they took their criminals and gave them to us through an open border policy of the previous administration. All over the world, they're emptying their prisons into our country. They're emptying their mental institutions into our country.
Can y'all hear that okay?
It stops as of 1 o'clock this afternoon, okay? So, revoking nearly 80 destructive radical executive actions of the previous administration that will all be null and void within about, what, 5 minutes? Is that done over there? 5 minutes? And next, to gain immediate control of the vast federal control bureaucracy. I will implement an immediate regulation freeze, which will stop Biden bureaucrats from continuing to regulate. Most of those bureaucrats are being fired. They got
He started Truth Social because he got banned off of Facebook.
also issue a temporary hiring.
That was what that was all about.
Only hiring competent people who are faithful to the American public. And we will pause the hiring of any new IRS agents. We will also require that federal workers must return to the office in person. We're going to take the 88,000 people that they hired to go after you with guns. By the way, they're allowed to use guns and harass you like they were so many other people. Remember this. Okay? Yeah, do you remember the statement about tips? Does anybody remember that little statement? I think we won Nevada because of that statement. But they went out and harassed you over the tips. In other words, we are restoring control of our government to the people. We're going to take those 88,000.
Oh, a lot of people use it. I'm on Truth Social. There are thousands of people on Truth. And he didn't do it as an investment. He sold it to a bigger company, and he ended up a multi-billionaire when he sold it.
Yeah, I know, he's great. He's doing great. They're all doing good. The Republican Party has never been unified like it is right now. They want to save our country. We're going to more than save it. We're going to make it greater than it's ever been before by a lot.
Right.
Next, I'm going to sign a presidential memorandum directing every member of my cabinet to marshal every power at their disposal to defeat inflation and rapidly bring down the cost of daily life. Because your costs have gone through the roof in the last 4 years. Perhaps you didn't notice. Does anyone notice that costs are like double, triple, quadruple? You can't buy bacon. Apples have doubled in price. You want an apple, anybody? Pay twice what you did 2 years ago. We'll put more money in your pocket, and it will bring back the American dream and reduce energy costs and liberate our economy. So we have more oil and gas than any country in the world, and we're going to use it. We're not going to do the wind thing. Big ugly windmills, they ruin your neighborhood, they ruin you. If you have a house with zero window, guess what? Your house is worth less than that. And did you see up in New England the whales? You see what's happening? So they had 2 whales killed in about 14 years. Last year and the year before, total they had 28. Only if you're into whales, you know what windows. And they're the most expensive form of energy that you can have by far. And they're all made in China, by the way. Practically all of them. And they kill your birds and they ruin your beautiful.
Who did he appoint to commerce?
But other than that, I think they're quite good, right? Now, remember when we used to joke and kid when we were kidding? We don't kid anymore. They want to watch the debates on television. They want to watch your favorite president on television. But the wind isn't blowing, so we can't watch television. Gladys, remember? Gladys, I'm sorry, the wind is not blowing. We're not watching Trump tonight. But I'm immediately withdrawing from the unfair one-sided Paris Climate Accord ripoff.
Yes. He's withdrawing from the Paris Climate Accords. Yes.
Your own industries while China pollutes with impunity. You know, China, they use a lot of dirty energy, but they produce a lot of energy. And when that stuff goes up in the air, you know, who can stay there?
Oh, Lutnick. Okay.
Not like you have a wall going on in it just because it floats into the United States of America after 3.5 to 5.5 days. It floats across the oceans. And it comes right over your neighborhood and it falls into your neighborhood. So they all say, we have to fight for clean air, but everybody is dropping it all over. So what the hell are they talking about? Unless everybody does it, it just doesn't work. You know, we have the cleanest air and the cleanest water that this country's ever had under the Trump administration. And we didn't do anything to stop jobs and stop production. Believe me, you see a lot of companies come pouring back and place tariffs. I always say tariffs is the most beautiful word for me in the dictionary. And I was reprimanded by the fake news. Religion and God. I said, I agree. Let's put God number one. Let's put religion number two. Love.
Yeah.
We're going to put that number three, I guess, right? And then this tariff. This tariffs are going to make us rich as hell. It's going to bring our country's businesses back that left us. And I'm also signing an executive order to immediately end federal government censorship of the American people and America. We believe in free speech. And we're bringing it back starting today to stop the weaponization. No, I know about that. It's great. Deranged jets, but the other end, deranged is a deranged prosecutors. They suck him on. He's now been reduced. Getting on an airplane going back to The Hague or wherever the hell he came from. We got to get rid of that guy. And was he one of the many people that barked, that got a pardon today? They pardoned Jack Smith? You know, did you know that Biden, while I was making my speech, pardoned his whole family? Their brother, the whole deal was pardoned. Can you imagine that?
Yeah. Biden pardoned his whole family today.
Did everybody hear my speech?
He's getting a standing ovation. That's great.
I mean, the only thing wrong with it is I had a lot of tough things to say, and I had some great people who went for me. Sir, this is such a great speech. It's so unifying. Don't talk about Biden with his pardons of his family. We want a unified country. They said don't talk about the J6 hostages that you're going to be releasing today. Sir, don't put that in your speech, please. He said, but I didn't really, I want to put it in my speech. He said, sir, it won't be unified like it is in some beautiful ways. And it is going to get reduced. You know, if I put things like that in, I'll get terrible reviews. One little paragraph that's a little bit long will make me frustrated. So I said, all right, I won't put it in my speech. But you know what? I'm speaking in front of a hell of a lot of people.
Yeah. He said, I won't put it in my speech, but I'm going to be talking in front of a hell of a lot of people. I'm going to tell them the truth.
We love the Oval Office. It all starts with the wars start and end there. Everything starts and ends with the Oval Office. We love it. But we're going to go to the Oval Office. We're going to release our great hostages. For the most part, and if you stuff wrong, you take a look at what went on, and look what happens in other parts of the country. In Portland, where they kill people and destroy the city, nothing happens to them. In Seattle, where they took all a big chunk of the city, nothing happened. Minneapolis, where they burned down the city, nothing happened. Essentially nothing. All they want to do is go after the J6 hostages. The 76-year-old grandmother was arrested the other day. She was looking, I think she was looking at the Capitol or something like that. We're not going to put up with that.
Yay. He said, we're not going to put up with that crap anymore.
To stop the weaponization of law enforcement, I've been investigated more than any human being in the world. I believe I have the all-time record. Every day a subpoena. Every single day we get subpoenas. I was more than any person. Alphonse Capone, remember I used to talk about him? Now, Alphonse Capone Scarface, he was a pretty rough guy. He was investigated about 1/100.
Right,
Trump was
Julianne.
my father's looking down at me, my mother, that how the hell did this happen? You know what it is? They investigated their political opponent, the opponent of Biden, and then ultimately Kamala. Has anyone ever heard of Kamala? We had to beat two
Yeah,
opponents. You know,
more than Al Capone.
now he goes like 39 points down. I think I'm going to beat Trump. They should have left me, and I would have been. His debate performance wasn't the best, right? That's what killed him. And then they had to change, and that's like you get into a fight. The great Dana White spoke last night. We love Dana White, right? UFC.
Something interesting.
He puts in two fighters.
Mark Zuckerberg hired Dana White to be on the board of Meta.
That's what they did to us. They gave us somebody new, but we took care of both of them. So we beat actually two opponents. But to stop the weaponization of law enforcement and our government, I will also sign an order directing every federal agency to preserve all records pertaining to political persecutions under the last administration of whatsoever, and beginning the process of exposing any and all abuses of power, even though he's pardoned many of these people. Can you believe it? He's pardoned. You know why he did it while I was speaking? Because I couldn't speak about it. I was speaking. I didn't know he did it. I finished my speech. And they said, sir, he pardoned his whole family. I said, oh, can I go back out there and talk about it? Somehow that wouldn't be very elegant. Our first lady would say, please don't do that. We have plenty of time to talk about it, and we will. We're doing all of this on our very first day in office. Don't forget, we've been in this position really where we won the primaries in record time. We the fastest win of a primary ever in political history, which is a very nice thing. It's nice to know. Well, the second election was rigged, so we knew we were doing well. And if it wasn't, you know what? If it wasn't, I would have never run. But this third one was just a monster. What was that, a big one, huh? That was a big one. From the second one, we got like 10 or 12 million votes more than the first one. How about that? We did great on the first one. We did much better on the second one. But man, did we do well on the third one. So we're gonna have some fun. First up, we're gonna make our country great. We're gonna make our country great again. We're gonna make America great again. How good a name is MAGA though, right? You know? I was going to say keep America great, but unfortunately it wasn't great. Can't say keep it great. It will be great again, but can keep America great. Can.
Yeah.
Never gonna replace MAGA.
They fired the entire DER department.
Nothing will ever replace MAGA. MAGA was the most
The
successful
fact checkers are being fired. I think at the end of the week.
Let's see what happens.
The end of the week, they're firing the fact checkers and replacing them with community notes, like X.
But we're doing this for the very first day in office, and in just a few moments, I'm not only signing the release of the J6 hostages, I'm signing other things that you're going to be happy reading newspapers tomorrow, and the next day, and the next day, and the next day. So I just want to thank, look at this place. It's full to the rafters. You don't have any. Look at those people out there. We don't have any empty seats. And by the way, the Capital One owners, they are so good. We got to root for their teams because they have been so great to MAGA, to us. And I just want to thank Ted and everybody. You guys have been fantastic in there. The ice hockey team's doing great. Ovechkin. Ovechkin's pretty good, right? They're doing great. So I want to thank them, Capital One Arena owners. They've been absolutely fantastic. And thank you once again to everyone. And I can only tell you, you're going to be very happy. You're going to watch a lot of good things happen. We're going to stop some wars that are happening and going on. Some stupid things are happening. The war with Ukraine would have never happened, and it has. As you know, Israel would have never been hit on October 7th, and none of you would be up here. None of you would even know anything about this tragedy that you're going through right now. But Iran was broke. Anybody that bought oil from Iran, they couldn't do any business with us. You're not going to do business with America. China passed, everybody passed, they were broke. They didn't have money for Hamas, they didn't have money for Hezbollah, and your sons would be alive, and they certainly wouldn't be incarcerated like they are. It's a shame, but we're getting a lot of people out in a short period of time. So I'm going to go right over to here, and I'm going to sign in front of you. Is that okay? Good.
Cool. You know, that's the difference between Trump and Biden. Trump actually cares about people. Biden wouldn't shake their hands. He'd walk right past them with their hand sticking out. Yeah,
First is the rescissions and second by POs.
You want to say?
Oh, you.
Why don't you say what I'm saying?
Sure. The first item that President Trump is signing is the rescission of 78 Biden-era executive actions, executive orders, presidential memoranda, and others.
Biden never did this.
Second item, President Trump is a regulatory freeze, as you announced in your speech, preventing bureaucrats from issuing any more regulations until we have full control of this, the government with this administration.
There's more waiting for him at the executive office. He has to go there after this.
The next item, sir, is a freeze on all federal hiring, excepting the military and a number of other excluded categories. Again, until full control of the government is achieved and we understand the objectives of government going forward.
Could you imagine Biden doing this? I don't think so.
I had just said that.
The next item, as you announced in your speech, is a requirement that federal workers return to full-time in-person work immediately.
They have to return to the office and work at the office. Yay.
Thank you, sir. Next, we have a directive to every department and agency in the federal government to address the cost of living crisis that has cost Americans so dearly. Thank you, sir. The next item here is the withdrawal from the Paris Climate Treaty. Yes, sir. We're going to save over $1 trillion by withdrawing from that treaty.
That's right.
And the next item, sir, is a letter that will be transmitted to the United Nations explaining that we are withdrawing from the Paris Climate Treaty. Thank you, sir. This next item is a directive to the federal government ordering the restoration of freedom of speech and preventing government censorship of free speech going forward.
That's an awesome thing.
And lastly, sir, before we go back to the Oval Office to sign a large number of other items, is a directive to the federal government ending the weaponization of government against the political adversaries of the previous administration as we see.
Yeehaw.
Thank you very much, sir.
The Pens tradition has been around for a very long time. Uh-oh. Somebody in the crowd's going to get lucky. He's throwing it to people in the crowd. Wow. That's awesome. Right, he used to toss MAGA hats. Now he's tossing the Pens. All right, my family. Oh, change the settings here. So, my Sapphire family, this is a great day. You know, I think that people were expecting the Trump of the previous administration, and no, but I saw a part of her uh, tirade that she did on Fox Nation a couple years ago. I don't like her. See, I think the people were expecting Trump to be bra- uh, what's the word? Braggadocious? Is that the right word? I know they stole her show from her, and I think she should go. She should write a book and tell tales and name names. You know what I mean? I don't believe in that kind of stuff. I heard she had, oh, excuse me, a podcast. She did stand up comedy on Fox Nation for a while. Yeah, she named names. Good. Let me correct this. Yeah. Good thing that I muted this afternoon when Carrie Underwood was going to sing um, America the Beautiful because the ones that didn't got a copyright strike. The copyright strike over 24 different content creators. But when I seen she was going to be the one sing it instead of the girl that they had talked about from the the Army Choir, when I saw it was her, I thought, nope, I gotta save my channel. You know, my channel is important to me. Y'all are important to me, and I'm not going to do nothing purposely to get a copyright strike to get my channel taken away from me because 3 copyright strikes and YouTube takes your channel. First, they demonetize you after 3, and then they wait for you to get a 4th one. When you get the 4th one, they take your channel. So I'm not going to do anything to cost me my channel. Benny is talking. Let's listen in.
With lawyers for January 6th political prisoners, that they are being released right now across the country in mass. Ladies and gentlemen, rejoice. The chat should rejoice. January 6th political prisoners are being released in mass right now across the nation. Hundreds of prisoners that have been persecuted by their government and by the Biden regime are being let out of jail. Is a prison official, a federal prison official, walked to Bersan's jail cell, and even though he had 18 more months on his sentence, opened up the cell and said, "Look,
Yeah,
you're getting out of here tonight."
there are literally
And when he asked
thousands
how, he said,
that are in prison.
President Trump has
Yeah.
signed your pardon.
Almost 1,000 of them were in prison for just walking on the Capitol lawn.
Get up, let's go. Is literally a historic moment that's happening right now before our very eyes. It's something that we care a lot about on the show. Something that we care a lot about on the program. We covered for years. Every single hit we do with Member of Congress, every hit we do with Senator, every hit we do with Mark Davis, everything we do with Julie Kelly. And so it is just a day of rejoicing and liberation. And I just want to report back to you. Sing hallelujah tonight. Sing hallelujah tonight. The January 6th political prisoners are now being released by the hundreds, if not thousands. And finally, when I texted a DOJ source, this is somebody who works inside of the DOJ, someone who works inside the DOJ.
This is great. My cousin just texted me and said that Marco Rubio was approved.
We are going to get, ladies and gentlemen, I think, freedom and justice after just hours from President Trump. The glorious, glorious moment. I am so uplifted and I'm so happy. This is the single happiest day of my entire life. And
I agree. You know, I was so upset over the Democrats choosing Kamala.
Of my existence on this planet, I think today, if you put it all together, if you include everything in it, it doesn't get better than this. And this is the cream on the top. I would say this final thing. These people have suffered. Many were speculating that there wasn't going to be a pardon for all January 6th political prisoners. Many were speculating that this was going to be simply for the J6 political prisoners that were prosecuted under effectively like a trespassing or a documents case, right? 51 section C 230. That is not correct. Allegedly, this is all of them, and this isn't the end. What happens next is that many of these J6 political prisoners, now that they've been pardoned by the president, get civil liabilities. And
awesome.
They get compensatory liabilities. So they are able to then sue the federal government, sue the Biden regime, sue Merrick Garland, sue Lisa Monaco, sue Jack Smith, sue the judges, Tanya Chutkan, who put them in prison. Many of these people have not been pardoned, and many of these people, ladies and gentlemen, will get their day in court.
Trump included in their pardon their ability to sue
I'll say this.
for liable.
Political prisoners who have perished and who have
Lisa Monaco,
and we pray for them.
Merrick Garland,
and the small, darkest part,
Judge Chutkan,
everyone's soul,
Jack Smith,
very least a glimmer of justice.
not Jack Smith, somebody else.
And they are walking free across the nation. And it's a glorious, glorious night in America. Yeah, I still watching that entire speech.
Yeah, that will make good television. He's right.
Declaration.
Did you hear him say Jack Smith? I was busy talking to you guys.
Where people actually put muscular action behind that declaration and sign these watershed pardons for January 6th. I'm just blown away by what President Trump has brought to this inauguration. It's been look at us doing black on. Look at us doing black on. Oh, that's so amazing. Oh, yeah. 40, 45, 47 license plate. So awesome. So he's going now from Capitol Arena to the White House. You're talking like maybe a half mile here at the front. Yes, it's not far. You'll be there, and now he's entering now the gates around the White House. So he will be inside of Donald Trump will be inside of the White House compound very soon. Okay, and there you go. Thank you, Klein. What a Klein is so cheap, man. Knows faster, dude. Danny, I just want to again say thank you. I want to say thank you to everybody who's watching. You got 100,000 people on this. 100,000 people on YouTube. We have hundreds of thousands across other platforms, and we're so appreciative for you watching on Facebook, Rumble, X. It's a family. It's a family show. It's a family business. It's my family. Danny is my family. You all watching digitally is my family. And it's been so special to experience all of this together. And now I know we've brought a number of J6 political prisoners on the program. You're the first people to go interview Jacob Chansley. We're the first show to interview Jacob Chansley. To go out there and to let him have a voice. Nobody has ever interviewed Chansley before. If you don't know who Jacob Chansley is, he's a guy who wears bison horns, buffalo horns. So we've gotten to know these families, we've gotten to know these moms, we've gotten to know these dads, and we've gotten to know these people who have their sons, daughters, grandmothers in prison because of Joe Biden. And that dirty, evil bastard pardons his own degenerate scum crime family on the way out the door, and pardons other mass murderers, and then did nothing for these people, locking up his fellow Americans for doing nothing. And tonight we are going to see justice inside of that house. Dan, is it correct that he's going to be signing more executive orders inside the Oval Office? They're going to hold off and go to the Oval Office and sign more? They said they're signing actually a lot more than they signed.
I do not believe he was pardoned. Let me check.
What they're going to do now. They've created a lot of pardons, so I assume it's going to be a lot of the actual physical generic pardons are going to come very shortly. Okay. I mean, we often talk about like Trump. We often write headlines about Trump being a conquering hero. That what we're going to, the image we're about to see is literally Trump being a conquering hero. Yes. Walking onto the White House grounds. Defying all odds, really. It should be an amazing moment. Klein, thank you so much for being so quick with this. The question that I have as the beast that now Trump is in the official beast. So this is now the White House grounds. So Donald Trump was driving by the United States Treasury, and he's driving through those steel barricades into the actual physical White House. So what you're seeing here is he's currently on the White House grounds, and he's driving across a large promenade that is typically reserved for pedestrian walking only, and then driving into the White House. So now he's on the White House compound. Again, ladies and gentlemen, it's not just being hopeful, it is literally happening. I have it confirmed through January 6th political families, and I have it confirmed through the DOJ that January 6th political prisoners by the thousands, at least hundreds, but potentially by thousands, released tonight. Released right now. It's actively happening. I'm texting right now with one J6 mom who is on her way to be reunited with her son. So you should be crying tears of joy and happiness. I began my morning crying tears of joy. I think it's only acceptable as a man to cry in very, very limited circumstances. And don't ever make a deal out of it. I cried during the birth of my child. The birth of your child is a time where you are allowed to be STI'd as a man because of a spiritual event, deep spiritual ramifications. And I think there are people who are bearing STI tonight, crying tears of great joy because this man's back in the White House. You saw Donald Trump enter the White House grounds there. Donald Trump's presidential limousine, lovingly known as the Beast, has now pulled around. And we hope that there's going to be a shot of Donald Trump inside the Oval Office in some type of cool feed. Potentially, you'd have to assume that Donald Trump would be going to be signing these things, and it's going to be on a live feed. But I'm not exactly sure.
Right. I'm trying to get clear answer on this.
Okay.
I assume they teed it up so much so at least has some kind of shot for it. I am activist, but speaking at 3 different inaugural laws. The guy's just getting started with President Trump, and I assume he's going to want to get all these pardons and all these executive orders signed as soon as possible. Right?
I love some of these comments on Benny's chat. This one guy put, "Look out, Daddy's home." And somebody else put, "The adults are in the room."
That's all they did. They simply stepped into and through a door that had been opened for them by law enforcement. And then they got some of them multiple years in prison. Some individuals who were not even at the Capitol building during January 6th were sentenced to 22 years. And yet you cannot find me a single case where anyone who burned the nation to cinders during the Antifa and BLM riots was sentenced at all. In fact, many of the DC judges effectively
Oh, wow.
threw out in mass any type of cases that were being brought against the looters, the destroyers during BLM and Antifa. This is the definition of
Pam Bondi said something interesting yesterday.
And
She said, "We are not about revenge, we are about justice." There are two different things.
Liz Jones, you're looking at the motorcade. Danny, can you let me know, is there any indication that there's going to be a cool feed inside of the White House? I know that we're running the show and still through here.
Right. As of now, there's no feed showing. So yeah, I assume Trump right now might be greeting his staff privately as he walks into the White House. His first time walking into the House. So I assume it to be maybe more private, but I don't see them not broadcasting what they just teased up. We'll see if that comes in the form of a pre-recorded video or live.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I'm not exactly sure. Okay, you got this box right now.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay. You're trying to enter the White House.
Yep,
There you go.
they are. And what I'm wondering, I'm talking with my cousin, who runs the departments while we're waiting on the Senate to get up off of their behinds and vote. Do the department heads that Trump named go to work tomorrow? Because the Senate has sat on their hands since Friday.
Hillary Clinton, and even George Bush. I mean, this is nothing personal by any of them, but they all made Donald Trump possible. If it weren't for some of their failures, Donald Trump
I like Laura Ingram.
Whether it was around war, or whether it was the border, whether it was spending, whether it was COVID and the continuation of the mandate.
Hey guys.
I don't know if the Senate is off work or not.
Yeah.
I know the Senate went to work today and voted on Rubio.
I've got to scoot. So I've got to move. I really hope that they have a live feed of the White House. You have our dear friend Mike Davis right there.
Hey, Chadiggy, welcome.
Upstairs. I've been down here doing these texts and calls.
We had an amazing thing happen just a few minutes ago. Donald Trump signed an executive order to release all the J6 hostages. He called them hostages. Yeah, but I'm talking about the people that Trump nominated that had their hearings last week. The Senate voted on Marco Rubio like a few minutes ago and approved him. And I'm wondering who's going to be in control of the departments until the Senate gets off of their ass and votes. I'm wondering if the department heads that Trump named that have had their hearing, if they just go to work now and wait to be voted on. We're trying to figure it out together, aren't we? Yeah, he signed a couple of very important executive orders, Chadigi, ending censorship in government forever and ending, basically ending lawfare. He said, no future president will ever be able to go after their opponent like Biden went after me. My daughter, she's doing good. She's going to be moving up here next month. I'm trying to get her to move where I live at, but she likes Helena, which is on the other side of the state. And I've tried to tell her that that area has changed since she left. And she doesn't believe it, so she has to find out on her own. Yep, that's life. See, Helena is the state capital of Montana, and Helena has always been very, very conservative. Well, it's no longer very, very conservative. It's very, very liberal now. It's the only city in Montana that's liberal. Oh, we will show you him. He's in the hallway. We got to do some things here. Got to change the camera, do that, and then we got to get up and walk and show him. See, there he is in his favorite spot, sleeping by the back door. His name is Apollo. He's a ham and a half, spoiled ass rotten. He's also my service dog. I got him certified. Hey, Laugh, welcome. Yes, Apollo's adorable. So some great things happened. Oh, where's signed an executive order ending all censorship by federal government departments. And he signed a executive order releasing all the J6 prisoners. And I'm in favor of that. And let me explain why. Because many of the J6 prisoners did not commit any crimes. They were simply walking on the Capitol grounds, and the police arrested them, and Judge Chutkin put them in jail for 22 years for walking on the Capitol grounds. Imagine walking on. I know you do not do Trump, but this is not really about Trump. This is about righting an injustice. I can see them getting arrested for committing acts of violence, but if you're just walking on the Capitol grounds, what crime have you committed? Yeah, not. It's not really revenge lawsuits. It's that they have the ability to sue for liable. And laugh. I really do appreciate you a lot. You're a dear friend. Show laugh some love. We are one of the things that he said over the Gulf of America, Gulf of Mexico thing was that names get changed all the time. And then he said that what is now Mount Denali, and I appreciate you too, Laugh. He said that what is now Mount Denali for 6 decades was Mount McKinley. Yes, cha is good, but Laugh, you're the best. Yeah, and if she had her own channel, I would support her as well. I would tell her, hey, I will push your channel. I support all y'all. I love all y'all, you know. And laugh is proof that you don't have to be of the same political party to be good friends. I've always said, you know, that you should love the person as the person they are, not for what their politics are. Yes, she does. She does amazing work. You guys don't know how she has helped me. She was my first mod. She was my very first mod. She helps me with reminding people to get the likes up, with telling people to subscribe. I've given her control over my merch store and told her, you know, see what she could do with it. Yeah, just like I have people in my family. My cousin Billy, that I'm trying to get come on and talk to us, he's a Democrat from the Chicago area, and he recently lost his race, but he's not down in the dumps about it. And he hates Kamala. He said Kamala was a terrible candidate. Hey, Tat. And I told him that Kamala might run again in 2028. He said, no, we will not have her. We will stop her. She's a terrible candidate. And that was coming from a Democrat politician in the Chicago area. Yes, both you and Chadigi are great. Laugh. But Laugh, you hold a special place in my heart, and you know that. So this is, you know, I believe this is a great thing. And this is not, when you vote for a president, you should not vote for him because, oh, I like him or I like her. It should be on who you think is going to do the best job for the country. And this time, we had two choices. We had Kamala, who's a devout communist, and I have proof. Her dad was a Marxist economics professor, and her mom started MK Ultra in India. MK Ultra is the Communist Party of India. And so we had a choice of going down the road of outright communism or voting for Trump. Yeah, I was told that she helped start it, that she was there when it was formed. And Kamala, or not Kamala, Candace Owens did a deep dive on Kamala's ancestry, and you would be shocked at the things that she found. Like, did you know that Kamala is not black? Kamala's dad is half Irish and half Indian, but he was born in the rich white section of Jamaica, which I didn't know there was a rich white section in Jamaica. And I also found out that, right, it doesn't matter about her race. That's what I'm trying to point out. Um, her saying that she was raised in LA, she was not raised in LA. She was born in LA and then they moved to the rich suburbs of Montreal, Canada, where she was raised there until she turned like 15. Trump is a known germaphobe. He's a known germaphobe. He will not set his hands anywhere where there's been dust or anything because he's afraid of getting someone's germs. Something interesting that I found, Laugh, at Jimmy Carter's funeral, Trump and Obama sat next together and they were talking like they were old friends. Trump invited him to come and play golf and he said I'd like that. And he said I'm going to be playing Trump said I'm going to be playing golf tomorrow. And then Trump said before we go, I got to we need to meet somewhere private. I have an important matter I need to talk to you about. But I think it just goes to show you that Obama realizes that they need to make changes. Yeah, I agree. You know, the person that just 3 months ago was saying Trump is Hitler, that no one should hold quarter with him. But that stuff is all behind us. Now Trump did sign, hold on. I'm not asking you to bash him, Laugh. And I agree that Obamacare is a good thing. I just want that they could figure out a way for it to be more affordable and that it didn't go on your taxes. Yeah. Does anybody know where that statement, unburdened by what's been, to be unbridled by the future. I know where that comes from. Well, that's good, Laugh. I'm glad you didn't have to pay a dime. But my daughter has to pay $50 and she has kidney problems. Um, she has Florida Blue, it's called, and she has to pay a different copay for each doctor that she goes to. And sometimes it's $50, sometimes it's high as $500. Hey, Jazzy T, welcome. Well, Jazzy T, I don't know about that. I haven't heard anything about giving out checks. But welcome, Jazzy T. You're welcome. Everyone is welcome on my channel. Laugh will tell you the rules. She's my main moderator, and so is Chadigi. Chadigi's a moderator. They'll tell you the rules. I don't have many. It's basically be friendly, don't be a jerk, something to that effect. But we talk politics and lawfare and current events on this channel. I'm going to be doing a stream um, tomorrow afternoon about what's going on in North Carolina. Hey, Mookie, welcome, welcome. Um, because of the fires in in California, FEMA has canceled the payments to the people in North Carolina. And it's winter, and there's a foot of snow on the ground. No, no, Jazzy Cheese, welcome. But tomorrow's stream is going to be about North Carolina and the crap that they're going through, which I hope will change now. Well, thank you, Jazzy T. I'm a conservative, But I tell people I'm a conservative first and a Republican second. That gets me in a lot of trouble. My mouth gets me in trouble. You can ask Laugh. Um, there's rumors is that he's going to do that. I haven't gotten locked down. Well, you're welcome, Tat. You know, to me, when it comes to FEMA, politics should play no part. Their job is to help people during natural disasters. What they were doing before Helene hit is they took $100 million out of the FEMA budget, and they were paying the illegals hotel rooms in New York. And that's why there was no money for the people in North Carolina when the hurricane hit. Also, the head of FEMA told their people, if there's a Trump sign in the yard, don't talk to them. That's outrageous. These people lost everything, you know? And I know a lot about that area because my sister lives in North Carolina, but she lives on the east side. And whole sides of mountains gave way. At Chimney Rock, a 35-foot wall of water went through the town and wiped out three-quarters of the town. Took away people's cars, people's houses, and that's not okay for the FEMA agency under any administration to say, well, if you're a Trump supporter, you don't get no money. That's outrageous because it's their job to be apolitical. It's their job to, you know, hand out the money when there's a disaster and not take half of FEMA's budget and go and give it to illegal aliens in New York City so that they can pay their hotel bills. But the thing is, Laugh, they took it from the wrong department. If Homeland Security was going to do it, it should have come from the Homeland Security budget. You know what I'm saying? You know, thank you, Chadigi. I I started this channel because I have knowledge and I'm 65 years old and I want other people to know my knowledge. Yes, we will find out a lot. Yep, knowledge is power. You know, I've told some of you guys this story, but now that we're all together, I'll tell you this. Um, there's a law firm in Chicago, Mayer Brown and Platt. It's the largest law firm in the United States. My aunt was secretary to the chairman of the board, and when she went in there, it was a free for all. The secretaries would sit on the lawyer's lap, say, "Hey, hon, what are we doing tonight? Blah, 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 this and that." My aunt said, "No, ma'am. You will call them Mr. So and so or Miss So and so because they went to college for 8 years. They earned the right to be called an attorney." And then she always told me, "You better not. I better not catch you disrespecting a lawyer or disrespecting the court because they worked hard to get their degree. They deserve respect." She said, "You may not like what they say, but you better respect them." So I always remembered that. And when she passed away a few years ago, we went to her memorial service, and the chairman of the board came and gave her eulogy. That's class. That's class. When the chairman of the board comes and gives your eulogy, you meant something to them, right? I'm not against anybody coming over here, laugh. I'm against, I'm a, for immigration as long as they come legally. Because when they come and just walk across the border, they're stepping on the feet of people that have waited for years. Um, Mexicans are very hardworking people. A lot of people talk trash about Mexicans, but I've known Mexicans. They're very hardworking people. Very hard. When I was fresh out of high school, I worked at a plant where there was a bunch of Mexicans. The only Spanish I learned was cuss words. Right. I'm going to send you a message, Laugh. There, laugh. I sent you a message. Absolutely. I can do that right now. While I'm on my phone, I can do that. There. Cat Clouds, you're a moderator now. Police officers get immunity because they live in a very dangerous job. And while I agree that not all police officers are good, the ones that are good, we need to protect. Oh, where's my remote? We're missing something here. Trump is signing executive orders.
We have them over a barrel. And there's no way they're going to be able to do that.
This is an executive order, like you can see.
You're welcome, Cat.
As a BRICS nation, yes. They'll have 100%
Yep.
if so much as even think about doing what they thought. Which, and therefore they'll give it up. I mean, so will China give it up.
So this is about reforming the system of hiring in federal government to ensure that merit is the lodestar of hiring.
That's what the Supreme Court.
Yes, sir.
This is a big deal, merit. Our country is going to be based on merit again. Can you believe it?
I agree with him on that. Hiring should be based on merit.
So I get it done.
This is an
The
order
color of your
implementing
skin
mental efficiency known as DOGE.
Okay.
or your sex should have nothing to do with you getting hired. It should be whether or not you can do the job.
Getting in office for about 20 people to hiring to make
Yeah,
sure
he's
that
still
these get
signing.
implemented. We have a problem in this country. You sign an executive order, it doesn't get done for 6 months. As an example, when we allowed BJ 6 hostages to go out, it might not be approved, and under the old days, for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 6 months. You know, they had a good ruling from the Supreme Court, and it's like nothing happened. That ruling was 6 months ago, you know that. And it was like they didn't have a ruling. They've been treated very unfair. The judges have been absolutely brutal. The prosecutors have been brutal. Nobody's ever treated people in this country like that.
Mr. President, are you commuting with sentences of anyone who assaulted these officers on January 6th?
Well, we're looking at two police officers, actually, that Washington police officers who went after an illegal, and things happened, and they ended up putting them in jail. They got 5-year jail sentences, you know the case. And we're looking at that in order to give them we're gonna give them a break.
It's the clemency in your action today, right?
Well, that would be a part. The one I'm talking about would be a part.
I agree. I have a lot of info on his court cases, Laugh,
I see murderers in the
especially the one in New York. Do you remember hearing about Trevion Cootie?
What they've done to these people is outrageous. There's rarely been anything like it in the history of our country. And even people that were aggressive, and in many cases, I believe they happen to be outside.
I don't know if he's going to do away with the IRS, but he's taking, like Biden expanded the IRS, added 89,000 new agents, gave them guns. Why does an IRS agent need a gun? To sit behind a desk? That I have had an issue with that.
Now we have, we're going to take care of that. These people have been treated so badly.
Right.
So happened before.
He signed an executive order ordering every department head to look for things that caused inflation and eliminate them from their budget. And one of the things that causes inflation, I'm a former truck driver. Trucks deliver everything. You raise the price of fuel, the price of goods are going to go up.
It's Washington, D.C. People go into a trial and they say, oh, I have a wonderful lawyer.
Yeah, that's why I love Montana. No sales tax. No sales tax and no income tax.
About what?
Yeah, Laugh. I sent you
Greenland is a wonderful place.
a message on Twitter a few minutes ago. Did you get it?
And I'm sure that Denmark will come along. I think that's costing them a lot of money to maintain it, to keep it. The people of Greenland are not happy with Denmark, you know?
Yeah.
I think they're happy with us.
The issue with Greenland, I think, is interesting. Did you know that the U.S. has been trying to buy Greenland for 100 years?
You have Russian boats all over the place. You have China boats all over the place.
And that the people of Greenland want to be a U.S. territory because Don Jr. interviewed this kid that lives in Greenland. He said they have rubies the size of baseballs, and Denmark will not allow them to mine them at all. They're not allowed to touch any of their own natural resources.
And they agreed to do that. They bought 450 billion. It was the least reported story I've ever been involved in.
You're welcome. See, that's how my channel got started. You know, Kat Knott Williams helped me, so I helped her, and then I helped Survivor Speaks. Oops. And it's just grown to the point where, okay, now I need to find somebody else to help.
I don't think it's a push it. I think it's going to happen, but maybe not quite yet. But it'll end up being in the Accords.
The goal of my channel, people, as you know, is to spread love.
In the Abraham Accords. Could be, but soon. Not a very long way. Ooh, look at that. It says TikTok. My, what is that all about?
First, we have Alaska, sir. This is an executive order relating to unleashing Alaska's potential as an energy reservoir for the entire nation.
And what about Anwar?
I believe that would be included in aspects of the
We're opening up
See, what people don't realize is that Anwar was created by Ronald Reagan.
Well, it depends on the deal. I mean, I may not do the deal, or I may do the deal. TikTok is worthless. Worthless if I don't approve it. It has to close.
Anwar was created to supply oil to the United States. Anwar has the largest oil deposits in the world, 5 times the size of the oil in Saudi Arabia.
Then I think we should get half. I think the U.S. should be entitled.
Boston Richie.
And congratulations, TikTok is a good partner.
Send me a message on X. Tell me who Boston Richie is.
Yeah, could be $500 billion or something. It's crazy. The numbers are crazy. But it's worthless if the president doesn't sign, then it's worthless. If the president does sign, it's worth maybe $1 trillion. So I think, like a joint venture, I think we would have a joint venture with the people from TikTok. We'll see what happens. I mean, that's one of many.
Yeah, see, Greenland. Laugh. You're going to get a special kind of help.
He's got nothing. They don't have nothing. It's passed in Congress. It gives the president the right to make a deal or to close it. And we have 90 days to make that decision. But I could see making a deal where the U.S. gets 50% of TikTok, polices it a little bit, or a lot. Depends on that. But remember, they make telephones in China, they make all sorts of things in China. Nobody ever complains about that. They're complaining about this.
I just sent you a message, Laugh.
So many different products made in China, nobody ever complained about it. The only one they complain about is TikTok. And TikTok is largely government. I guess I have a warm spot with TikTok that I didn't have originally, but
Yeah, most of the people here know Laugh has a special place in my heart. She's a very special friend.
And Republicans typically don't do too well with young people, but it's a different Republican Party.
My feed has a fast chat.
TikTok for the approval that TikTok can continue our business. And they have a great partner. The U.S. would be there.
You know, I only get paid once a month, but my goal is to help people to, quote unquote, spread the love. I may not always be able to do a lot, but I'll do something. You know what I mean, Cha?
Well, actually about kids, young kids. If China's going to get information about young kids out of it. To be honest, I think we have bigger problems than them. But you know, when you take a look at telephones that are made in China and all the other things that are made in China, military equipment made in China, TikTok, I think TikTok is not.
Yeah, follow Flesh of the Gods. Flesh is awesome. Follow Cat Nut Williams. I miss Cat Nut Williams. Yeah, you should try that here in Montana. Even though we have no sales tax, you can't get out of the grocery store with under $100. I bought 5 bags of, well, 6. I had 6 bags, and I had a bag of dog food, and it was $200.
Which one?
Yeah, YouTube is tripping. Thanks for coming by, FFS. We've been here for 2 hours now. Oops. Trying to let people see what's going on. You know, sharing information. We're about sharing information and sharing the love. No, I said 6 bags of groceries and a bag of dog food, FFS. Um, he eats kibbles and bits, the bistro, either beef and vegetable or steak and vegetable. It's $30 at Walmart. But things are very expensive, you know. Gas is starting to come down. Gas is $2.77 a gallon now. No problem.
Could be very soon. I have to speak to President Bush right now. He's not, he can't be grilled. He's not doing so well. I mean, he's grinding it out, but most people thought that war would have been over in about 1 week. And now you're into 3 years, you know? So he can't be grilled. It's not making him look very good. Well, eventually, I mean, it's a big machine, so things will happen, but, I think it'd be very well off to end that war. We have numbers and almost 1 million Russian soldiers have been killed, about 700,000 Ukrainian soldiers are killed. The Russians bigger, they have more soldiers to lose, but that's no way to run a country. Just give me the right to start or close it. But essentially, we're taking our ability to sell it or close it. And we'll make that determination. And we may have to get an approval from China too, I'm not sure. But I'm sure they'll approve it. And if they don't approve it, it would be somewhat of a hostile act. But it's good for China if it gets approved.
You know, I've said this for several months now. Ever since Butler, he's a changed man. You don't see the wild exaggerations anymore. He's very serious now. And you can see that he has really aged.
And nobody ever thought that way. Well, I think you have a lot of people that would be interested in taking up with the United States as a partner.
I keep telling people, move to Montana.
Oh, what a great feeling. One of the better feelings I've ever had.
There's one liberal area in Montana that's Helena, the state capital. The rest of the whole state is conservative. Butler is Butler, Pennsylvania, where a shooter tried to unalive President Trump, and I view it as the grace of God. He turned his head at the moment the bullet would have hit him right in the side of the head. Is that the chart that he usually looks at is usually on the left side, and he usually turns his head to the left, but for some reason it was put up to the right, and he had to turn his head to the right, and the exact moment the bullet was supposed to hit him right in the side of the head, he turned his head and it took off the top of his ear.
I think he's destroying Russia. Oh, that makes it a deal. I think Russia's.
I think that would change anybody.
Take a look at their economy, take a look at the inflation. So I don't know, I would have gone with it, right? And, you know, I would hope he wants to make a deal. Well, sanctions or tariffs, I think the word tariff is much better because it keeps your dollar stronger. I think tariffs are more effective. I mean, I use sanctions on Iran. Iran was broke. When I left office, Iran was broke. They had no money for Hamas or Hezbollah. Nothing.
Yeah, don't run from the cops. That's not smart.
That would have never happened. And I think people all know that. It would have never happened. They had no money. Now there's rich, but
you know, the weekend that I went and say that, the water attack by Israel really set that back. And really set the basis, but the basis, you know, the attack on air defense system, that was a bad attack.
Okay, Laugh. We love you. Show Laugh some love.
We're hitting with the cancer. I call it cancer. The cancer caused by the Biden administration.
Who runs Ford Tauruses?
There's not all the ones that want, but some not going, but I think they're very weak on the other side. God's away. I looked at a picture of Cousins.
Laugh is a special person to me.
It's really, gotta be rebuilt in a different way. I like it. Yeah, God's is interesting. It's a phenomenal location on the sea. It's the best weather. You know, everything's good. It's like so beautiful. Things could be done with it, but it's very interesting. But some fantastic things could be done with this. Well, it depends. I can't imagine that. We surely can't have the people who have most of them are dead. Most of them are dead. But that they didn't exactly run well. Fishes may have been.
Wow.
You can't have that.
You leaving, Julianne?
China didn't approve it. We could put tariffs on China. Don't forget. China charges us tariffs and we charge them. Except for what I did. I put a lot of it. Took in hundreds of millions of dollars. But until I came along, China never paid 10 cents to this country. They ripped us off and they never paid anything. But like if we wanted to make a deal with TikTok, it was a good deal. And China wouldn't approve it. And then
Okay. I thought I saw you say goodbye or something.
but you certainly could do that. And if we said, well, you're not going to approve it, then
Good night, Laugh. Be safe. Love you much.
50%, even 100%. And we did that, I think they'd approve it.
Okay, FFS. Be safe driving. I want everybody to drive safe and be safe getting home so we can chat again sometime.
Was a very good politician. I don't think he was used properly. I think they disrespected him. When Hillary was running, he came back.
Okay, FFS.
Michigan and Wisconsin, you remember that meeting. Every house has a Trump sign on it. And they all left because the Republicans had won Michigan or Wisconsin for decades, long term. And they all left to Bill Clinton, like Al Zito. And he turned out to be right because I won both of them. And then we just won both of the sides. We won Wisconsin and Michigan and every other swing state. We won all the swing states. All 7. They're talking about 7 swing states, we won them all. So, Bill Clinton he had a great political sense. It looked like you were having
Drive fast and take chances, huh, FFS?
and you'd like to know where everybody wants to know. But we were having some crazy conversation. So why do you ask me a question like that? I don't think you want to know.
You might be insulted. It's an executive order relating to holding former government officials accountable for unlawful disclosure of sensitive information. This next concerns the declaration of a national energy emergency.
That's a big one. Well, that means you can do whatever you have to do to get out of that problem. And we do have that kind of emergency.
It's also like we use your House presidency to tell Americans where we turn on loans.
I'd like to know because I just got here. Well, what do you think about that? I just can't, I just want 13 minutes now. You would think there's no online, I gotta read this letter too, because you quite got the letter. I can read it for you.
Well, that's good, FFS.
But anything from, we're on this, I would like to find out what it is and tell the people.
So what happens in 13 minutes, Cha?
Find out what that was, Susan. Okay? Yeah, I mean, it's like, I can't imagine it's a damn, you know what I mean? Yeah, people like that, blown up on it. Maybe there was SK things. I don't know why they would say what it was. Yeah, I don't know if I know if at least it's interesting. And when we back to Vegas, people do back to purple letter one there on that security. No, your security. Because then everything shut down to those, yeah, you can shut that down pretty easily. They're very sophisticated. No, it was just about whether we made a big move because, first of all, I thought it was incredible what happened today. You know what I like because I got great reviews on that speech. I got great reviews. Can you believe it? They actually were there. So maybe the pages is changing. Unelectric energy, yeah, unreaching energy production. But I feel like it was, I think having another capital is good. Obviously, you can take care of the people you have to take care of. The city was moving. And if we would have done it outside, people would have been hurt because it was really cold. You know, it was sunny. But when you stood outside for 10 minutes, people were running back in. It was really cold and really windy. The wind brings it down a lot. So we made the right decision. You couldn't stay. I don't think you could have had an You know how cold it was. It was, people went out for a little while just to test it. They couldn't stay up more than 10 minutes. They all came back in. So we would have to disaster if we did that. And people would have been hurt. Which one? No, I think it's just more general than stuff talked about. I was surprised that President Biden would go and pardon this whole family because that makes him look very guilty. And I could have pardoned my family. I could have pardoned myself, my family. I said, if I do that, it's going to make me look very guilty. I don't think I'd be sitting here, frankly. If I did that, I don't think I'd be sitting here right now.
Right.
Because I would have shown that you're guilty. But by pardoning his brother or brothers, by pardoning all of those people that he pardoned, by pardoning J6, the Unselect Committee, they destroyed all of the documents.
Right.
They deleted all of the information. There's no information. And a lot of the information pertains to Nancy Pelosi because she was given one on, I mean, you know this, it's on tape with her daughter. Nancy Pelosi was responsible for not taking advantage of.
Oh, okay, Cha.
1,000. You wouldn't have needed, you could have used 400. It was a relatively small crowd. It wasn't the crowd that was at the mall, it was a small crowd. So I was a little bit surprised that he did it because it makes him look guilty. I mean, he's going to have to live with it. Now, with that being said, it's unbelievable precedent. It creates more precedent. But the precedent is unbelievable. Now, maybe every president that leaves office, they're going to pardon every person they ever met. So that some lunatic like deranged Jack Smith. It was a total lunatic, but not a smart guy. He's a dummy. But we beat the hell out of him. And I helped our reputation. Well, I guess now I have precedent to do it. I wouldn't want to do that. No, I think it makes you look very guilty. I think it makes Biden look very,
Right.
very weak and very guilty. And I mean,
here's the interesting thing.
J6 committee, how do you, why
What they charged him with,
the reason is
the
because
appeals court
and destroy
hasn't released their opinion yet, but they told
because they were guilty.
Letitia James
They rigged it.
that she had no business interfering in someone's personal business.
Liz Cheney, I mean, she's a lunatic.
Said that there was
She lost by the
no
greatest margin in the
fraud
history of
because
a politician running for Congress. Like
the
20 points.
the loan was paid back in full plus interest and paid back early.
But she's a nut job. She doesn't drop out. You know, she just keeps chugging forward. And she lost by almost 40 points. That's the biggest number anybody's ever lost by. Well, why would Biden do that? He pardoned her and pardoned everybody. The reason is that they destroyed documents. And if you're even in a civil case, which this wouldn't be,
Yeah,
I mean, people go to jail.
Letitia's a lunatic.
What's this one?
So
That's unleashing their-
most people don't realize the 34 felony counts is he, as president, wrote 34 checks to the lawyer, and the lawyer told the accountant that it was a legal expense.
I think this.
So Letitia James charged him with 34 felonies for writing 34 checks, which the lawyer said was legal expenses.
I could live with him.
Figure that one out, right?
George Washington, I can tell you.
I mean,
I can live with Thomas.
I'm the kind of person, if a person is guilty, they're guilty. If they're innocent, they're innocent.
Withdrawn from the World Health
If-
Organization.
If it's stacked up, you know.
$100 million to World Health when I was here, and I terminated it. China was 1.4 billion people. We have 350 defense. We have, nobody knows what we have because so many people came in illegally, but let's say we have 325. They had 1.4 billion. They were paying 39 million. We were paying 500 million.
Wow.
They didn't care to me. So that wasn't the reason, but I dropped out. They offered me to come back to 39 million. In theory, it should be less than that, but you know. And when Biden came back, they came back for 500 million.
Beat up who, child? Who got beat up?
They wanted us back so badly, so we'll see what happens. It's pretty sad to think of it. China pays 39 million and we pay 500 million. And China's a bigger country.
President, you talk about inflation today, your remarks. What actions are you taking today?
Yeah, that's interesting.
Impact for Americans on their everyday costs to bring costs down.
China pays the world health 39 million. China has 1.6 billion people.
They hurt it really badly.
We have about 330 million. They're charging us 500 million.
Many of these things that we're signing and that.
That's not fair. You know what I mean?
Chris Wright is phenomenal.
Yeah, we need to just be about facts, right, Chadigi?
We're gonna make a lot of money from energy. We have more than anybody else. We're gonna make a lot of money from energy. We're gonna make a lot of money from tariffs. You know,
I have to be honest. At the beginning of the campaign, I was not in Trump's corner. I was on the side of Nikki Haley. And my reasoning is that in 2 years, Biden had done so much damage to this country, it will take 8 years for us to get it fixed. But then, when she didn't get out,
the one thing they can do, well, I guess, the one thing they can
after
do quickly.
she had come in third the last time, I didn't like that.
I've had the invite.
And then he was the only candidate left, so I supported him. But I supported him twice before. However, I supported him the first time because I followed him in business for 40 years. Donald Trump was not always a Republican. Donald Trump, until he first ran for president, was a Democrat.
Yeah, but we're not ready for that yet. We may put it
Rapid,
Democrats.
because essentially all.
And people get lost in,
No,
you know,
we don't make any
the
decisions
Democrat Republican label.
in a way that we
So
just- we don't make
this time
decisions.
around,
We don't have any good
Donald Trump has completely remade the Republican Party. He has brought in prominent Democrats. He has Bobby Kennedy Jr. in his cabinet. He has Tulsi Gabbard in his cabinet. He has
Don't make money with us. But I don't want to let.
oh, I can't think of her name now.
They'll immediately change that.
But anyhow, he's put some prominent Democrats that left the Democratic Party and came over and became Republicans. But at their core, this is the way I believe, they still have Democrat values. It's just that the Democrat Party basically kicked them out. You know what Joe Biden did to Tulsi Gabbard? He should be arrested and put in jail. Tulsi Gabbard is a veteran. She currently commands, she had Lieutenant Colonel in the Air National Guard from Oklahoma, and she's flown rescue missions in Iraq and Afghanistan. She's rescued other pilots, and Biden had the audacity to put her on the terrorist watch list. That's unforgivable to me. You don't do things like that. You know, thank you, Chadigi. You know, my thing is tell the truth. Yeah, sometimes the truth hurts, but the truth is always the truth. And Tulsi Gabbard is a decorated veteran. You don't put her on the terrorist watch list. You don't spread lies about her saying that she's a Russian spy. When she used to fly, before she got connected with Trump, she was followed through the airport by 5 U.S. Marshals everywhere she flew. She had to go through a special line, and she had to be basically strip searched every time she flew. That's outrageous. That is beyond outrageous. And then Joe Biden, when he pardoned his family and others today, he said, this is because they might be targeted. It's like, what the fuck, you moron? You've been targeting other people for the last 4 years. Tulsi Gabbard is living proof. You know, I'm not okay with that kind of stuff from either side of the aisle. You don't target veterans. You don't go and look for a crime or look for a man and then look for the crime. Yeah, it seriously impeded her travel time. She had to be sniffed down by a drug dog every time she went through an airport. That's disgraceful. You know, they tried to make a big deal out of um, Pete Hegseth. You know, him and his wife were having a bad time, so he had an affair, and they tried to say it was the R word, but after the police investigated, they found that the girl was the one that was drunk. They found that the girl drug him off to the bedroom. But nobody wants to talk about that. Nobody wants to talk about the truth. Nobody wants to talk about the truth. And it's irritating to me, someone who believes in the truth, that no one wants to talk about the truth. You know, we should all want the truth, right? Yeah. Oh, excuse me. Thank you, Chadigi. Right. I'm always talking about the truth. And I'm always telling my daughter, my mouth gets me in a fucking hell of a lot of trouble, but I'm going to tell the truth, damn it. You know, I've had people saying, oh, you shouldn't swear, you know. I said, well, you know what? I'm a Christian. I talk to God every day. He knows I swear. He knows why I swear, so leave me alone. You know, I'm going to tell you all the truth. I do my research and I play short video clips and I tell you all the truth. I tell you what's going on. You know, there ain't a one of us out here that's perfect. There ain't a one of us out here that's perfect. We, it's like Mark Wayne Mullen. I like how Mark Wayne Mullen put it in the Democrat senator's face because they were trying to beat up Pete for drinking when he said he quit drinking. That as long as he was Secretary of Defense, he would never take a drop because he cared about the troops more than the liquor. That says a hell of a lot. And Mark Wayne Mullen told them the following. He said, y'all ought to look at yourself in the mirror. He said, how many of you have seen senators show up for votes drunk? How many of you have known senators to have to get divorced because of infidelities? And then you're going to beat up on him for making a mistake? I don't think so. Yeah, you know, this this the story about Christy Nome, they don't tell you the truth. They tell you, oh, she killed her little puppy, you know, beat up on her. She hates dogs. That ain't what happened. It was a livestock guardian dog. Livestock guardian dogs protect the flock, whether it's chickens or goats or whatever. That dog killed chickens. It killed several goats. It killed several calves. It bit several of her family members. It bit four different trainers. And when it bit the fourth trainer, she said, that's enough. And she walked over and took out her pistol. That is not her just killing her puppy. There's a whole story behind that. There's a whole story behind that. Hold on. I'm getting a bunch of messages on that. Got to see if they're important. Probably not, but no, nothing important yet. I was going to say, FFS, you're listening and drinking. I thought you were going to be driving. Don't drink and drive. Well, thank you, Chadigi. You know, I volunteered to train service dogs when I lived in Florida for 3.5 years. I love dogs, but I also understand that there are good dogs and there are bad dogs, and that we have to be adults and we have to say when there's a bad dog, we have to make the right decision. And, a livestock guardian dog is there to protect the flock. And if the livestock guardian, Cat, you're in Florida? Where at in Florida? I'm cool with that, FFS. Okay, so I lived in Mayo for 3 years, and then I moved to Perry and lived in Perry for 2 years. Perry was an absolute mistake. Perry is expensive. People are rude as fuck. They'll tell you you're a friend and then stab you in the back. I'm not okay with people like that. Yes, they have overbred so many breeds. A lot of states, though, wolf dogs are illegal. I got these ear pods, and I really like them. But once in a while, they try to fall out of my ear. It's like, no, stand there, you stupid thing. That's one thing, I want you guys to know. I will always tell you all the truth. See, I didn't get AirPods. I got the knockoff version for like $30 because I didn't want to pay $169 for AirPods. Sorry, not happening. I'm not paying 169 bucks for something I can get for 39. Yeah, I am very glad that they saved TikTok. Barron Trump is the one that told Trump that he needed to save TikTok, that if he wanted to reach younger people, that he had to get on TikTok. Yeah, it's going to be colder than shit here till Tuesday. Yeah, $39 just as bad, but it's better than having a bunch of echo in the. See, I had an issue when I would drop a link in the chat and have people come up and talk. Man, echo. Holy cow. It would echo back and forth, and I would have to mute my mic and then unmute it for me to talk, and then mute it when they talked, and it was a big pain. And so I decided to go ahead and buy them. And I really like them. They come with a nice case, you know, on the front of the case, when you open it up, it tells you the percent that they're charged when they're in it. Yeah, that would be interesting. Yeah, that was a great investment. I don't always do the great investments because I don't want to spend the money. But where it involved the channel and I was having such trouble with the echoing back and forth and stuff. But see, it does like this. The stupid things just want to fall out. So I have to update you. Hold on 1 second. We have 240 subscribers. We're almost halfway to 500. At 500, I get monetized, and I can help more people after I'm monetized. Now, I understand, and I've heard that they play games with new people that got monetized. Like they'll hold your money for 3 months and stuff like that. But as long as I know that the money's eventually coming, I'm cool with it, you know. And then X, I got up to 500 followers on X, and then now for monetization, it says that you have to have 500 premium members. Well, there's no followers, rather. Verified followers. It doesn't tell me how many. Everybody's always playing games, right, y'all? But the next goal on X is to get 2,000 followers. Once you get 2,000 followers, you're in another category. Let me look this up for y'all. I don't like him. That's why it's muted. It's Bill O'Reilly. I like Pierce Morgan, but I don't like Bill O'Reilly. Bill O'Reilly did a lot of bad things to female anchors when he was at Fox. He got sued for how can we word this? For not nice touching, not nice comments. Okay, so 500 premium followers. What is the other one? I hit the wrong button. This one. Okay. 2,000 verified followers. So that's my next goal on X. 2,000 verified followers. Everybody's always playing games. You have to roll with the flow without losing your sense of pride. You know, I have stories I can tell you all about driving a truck. You want to hear truck driving stories? I cussed out the, the dispatcher, which was the agent's wife, because I picked up my load at midnight. It was the delivery was in Aberdeen, Mississippi, which is for me at the time was 1,000 miles. I had a 65-mile-an-hour truck. Do some math here. It's going to take at least 10 to 12 hours to get there. That stupid bitch made my delivery appointment for 8 o'clock in the morning. 8 o'clock in the morning on a 10 to 12 hour run. Hey Cha, I'm on Twitter. You can message me on Twitter. Um, and so also when I got there, she sent me with the wrong load. It had the wrong load of cans. So they had me drop the truck trailer at the dock and told me, go get breakfast and come up back at 4 o'clock. So when I told her that, she says, no, they're going to do. I said, don't give me that shit. I said, he said he's got to rearrange the entire warehouse to make room for this load. And then her husband got on and said, what are you cussing and swearing at her for? Blah, 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 blah. And so I told him what happened. I told him I don't have a 100-mile-an-hour truck like everybody else does. Mine is governed at 65. It does 65 uphill, downhill, flat ground. Why is it not letting you comment, Cha? Hey, Chloe, happy MLK Day. You know, I know that everybody doesn't like Trump, but he said something very important today. He said we need to get back to Martin Luther King's values in this country. He said we need to judge people by the content of their character, not the color of their skin. And I thought that was very important. I thought that was very important. Hold on a second. I gotta go let the dog out. I'll be right back. Come on, buddy. Come on. Okay, I'm back. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, he's a good boy. He will not potty in the house for nothing. And he will not bark to go outside. He comes and sits right in the hallway. And if it's a night and I'm asleep, he will come and stick his head up like under my right arm and stuff. Hold on, I got to change. AirPods are saying no battery. Hold on. Let me change. Okay. Can y'all hear me? No, Apollo was in. He wanted out. That dog is the best dog I've ever had. I've had a lot of dogs. So, yeah, he minds his business. He's not a big barker. If he barks and he's out in the yard, I need to go and check it out because he don't sit there and bark and bark and bark and bark at anything that moves. He barks when somebody walks up the steps because from where his pen is at, he can see the front deck. And if somebody walks up on the deck, he will come right to the edge of the grill where he can watch the door, and he will stand there and bark. And when he barks, he jumps on his front paws, and man, he lets you know. He scares the crap out of people. But then you let him in the house, and he's like, "Hey, are you my friend?" And they're like, "Whoa," you know. The other trucking story shows how ignorant people can be. I picked up a dinosaur bone from the University of Provo in Utah that was worth in excess of $5 million. They paid for the use of the truck. And I was delivering in Los Angeles, and I got to the delivery, and the girl had let the employees park behind the building. I had to go behind the building to get around to the dock. So I politely, now, when I first encounter someone, I'm very polite. But if they push my buttons, they're going to hear about it. So I went in there and I told her that the cars in the back needed to be moved because they were in the way. She says, "I'm not fucking telling somebody to move their car because you can't drive your fucking truck." Wrong answer. I told her, "Look, bitch, if I go through there, all them cars are going to be fucking destroyed. So you either move the cars or I go through there and everybody's car gets wrecked." The owner was Japanese. He heard us arguing. He come over and he asked me, "What's the problem?" So I told him what the problem was. He looked at her and said, "Clean out your desk. You're fired. Go home." And then he said, "I will get the cars moved for you. I'm sorry this happened." He got the cars moved, and I got the truck around and got into the dock. And, you know, that bone had an appointment with the ship. I had 1 hour for them to get it off and get it on another truck to go and be on the ship. And this girl is playing games. I don't like it when people play games like that. I don't like that. She got fired. That's right. That guy walked up to her and said, "Clear out your desk, you're fired." And then he come back to me and he said, "I'm very sorry you were treated that way. We want people that work for us that are professional." She's not. It won't happen again. I never got to deliver back there again, but I always remembered that guy from Japan that owned that business, he was straight up on business. He walked over and told her she was fired. She started arguing with him, told him, "You can't fire me." He said, "Clean out your desk and go home." I thought, yeah, you're fired, right? And then I have a lot of truck driving stories. I was a truck driver off and on for 25 years. I've seen 40, 47 states, I think. I've been to Washington, been to Oregon, been to California, been across the northern tip of Idaho, Utah, Nevada, Arizona, New Mexico. My favorite was going from Dallas to Salt Lake and cutting across New Mexico and Utah and Colorado. That is pretty country. I don't like it when people get fired like that, but I understand the reason why. All I ever asked her for was to get people to move their cars. She's the one that made it a big issue. She's the one that accused me of not knowing how to drive a truck when I've driven a truck for 20 years. Don't do that to people. You know what I mean? Now, there are people, mind you, that don't know how to drive a truck. I've seen truck drivers that don't know how to back up a truck. But we're not talking about that. I'm not like that. I can go forward, backwards, sometimes sideways, you know. But it's all about getting the freight moved from point A to point B. Okay, I'm going to get off here, y'all. We've been on here for 3 hours. Holy smokes. So we will see y'all tomorrow. 2 o'clock workout good for y'all? Thank you. It's 7 o'clock right now. So we'll see y'all at 2 o'clock tomorrow. Take care. Love y'all. Have a good night.